This video was filmed mid-November 2020. This is Ross Arnett's farm in northern New Rivers, and it's one of the sites with the IPM project. It's one of the survey sites. Ross releases Matrix and Anastatis regularly and has been doing inter-row management to enhance his beneficials for several years now. And that includes inter-row insectaries planted with a double disc linkage planting. So what you're seeing here is actually regrowth from some of those plantings. He did a planting earlier in the year and he's mowed it down, but it's come back and some of the seed from previous plantings has come up. So Ross has had very low lacebug populations in the last few years. Not enough to spray the whole orchard, maybe a little bit of spot spraying last year, but I don't think he did any this year. He's had virtually no fruit spotting bug for several years. But he sprayed indoxacarb this year for seed weevil, and he did have an outbreak of leptocoris this season as well. So what you're looking at now is a lot of its regrowth from the previous crop that's seeded down. We've got a mixture of grasses, herbs and legumes. The grasses produced a lot of pollen. There's prairie grass, which has gone off now, but annual grass has got a lot of pollen on it now, and there was some rye corn a while back as well. He's got regrowth from the brassicas, which have been slashed down. Got radishes and turnips and chicory, and they've sort of sporadic throughout the orchard. And he's got a lot more brassicas that are still in a vegetative stage, which will flower in the next month. He's got legumes which he's planted. He's planted vetch and lucerne and clover, and they're sort of here and there in the interrow. He's got some reseeded buckwheat. We planted quite a lot of buckwheat on this farm earlier in the year and last year, and that's come up here and there. And he's also got cobblers, pegs and flatwheat. This orchard also has a lot of plantain, which has been here for a long time. It produces a lot of pollen, which the bees and the ladybirds love. So there's quite a lot of variety there, a lot of resources there for beneficial insects and pollinators. So we ran a sweep net through this and we picked up a lot of predators. Well, I'll show you firstly here. We've got some mowed areas underneath the trees where we ran the sweep net, and we hardly got anything. The sample here is actually probably one of the best runs we did. We got half a dozen insects, but compared with the interrow area, it was just chalk and cheese. A lot of different beneficial. There's clearly a lot more leaf area and niches, different levels for insects to shelter and to feed in this particular area. We got high numbers of ladybirds and spiders in particular, but a whole host of other things, lots of small flies, and a few parasitoids, and quite a few predatory bugs, quite a lot of damsel bugs, which we hadn't really noticed before. They were quite numerous. The bees were quite numerous. They were the quickest to fly out of the net as soon as we stopped moving the net. But a lot of spiders, and probably maybe 5 or more different species of spiders we observed. Lots of different ladybirds, probably 3 different species of ladybirds. Hoverflies were very numerous, and there were quite a lot of native bees as well on the brassicas, mainly the yellow brassicas and the pink brassicas. They were quite numerous. So this was a pretty interesting exercise. Clearly an interrow like this is a great resource for beneficial insects, and also a shelter for insects when spraying does need to be done. And we believe that if you do have a diverse system like this, if you do get a pest incursion, there is a good chance that they will be suppressed at least by the high numbers of beneficials in a system like this. Also, it does provide resources for pollinators for a longer part of the season rather than just the flowering period of the trees. This is what the crop looked like before the top was mown off it. Ross is using his bucket here just to get all the bees airborne before he slashes the top off the crop.